Morning. Last week we have discussed syllabus topic on project appraisal, and there we have discussed cost of capital, cost of preference shares, and cost of debt, and how the cost of capital is calculated, and how the cost of preference shares is calculated, and how the cost of debt is calculated. So, cost of capital and the cost of debt, mainly the two finance sources, and how to calculate the cost relevant to the company we have discussed. So what is the main difference between cost of capital and cost of debt? Only the tax portion comes. Tax portion comes to the scheme. So when you calculate the cost of debt, you have to make adjustment to the tax rate. So when you calculate the cost of equity, you don't have such adjustment. Right? So we have learned two methods for calculating cost of capital, cost of equity. Cost of equity. So what are the two methods we have learned? One thing is dividend model, and second one is CAPM, capital asset pricing model. Like someone has frequently tested this capital asset pricing model, right? We have discussed this, and so basically, when a project, how do you decide whether the project is acceptable or not based on the present value? Based on the present value only, the project we will decide how the project is accepted or not. The project present value is NPV. Why NPV comes? Why net present value comes rather than present value? Net present value means now where did we find this similar calculation? When we calculate the pricing of treasury bonds or debenture, we use the same method. Remember, present value calculation. But there, you didn't have any figure for year zero. Remember the period zero, we didn't have any figure. But this project appraisal, we have year zero figure. Why? To acquire a project, we have to spend something. Today, now for example, you purchase a vehicle. You have to spend something today. Then the return and the expenses next whatever the remaining lifetime. Today you have to spend something. Other monohar you have to spend. Today, now, year zero. So then we have outflow. We have year zero outflow. Always we have year zero outflow. Very, very rare that you get chance to earn income for year zero. Very rare. Right? So very rare. You don't have this income for year zero, but expenses, yes. So all the present value for whatever the remaining remaining period, then you deduct whatever the spent money, which is in year zero, then you have a net present value. Net. So if the net present value is positive, we accept the project. When the next present value is negative, we don't go ahead with the project. Right? Now, in the bond calculation, we have taken the discounting factor. What is discounting factor? To find out the present value, each year you have figures. So how do you bring all these figures into today's term? By using a discount. By using a discount factor. There we have used required rate of return. May invest kiya balaporuttu wenawada may investment again. But come to now project appraisal. May project again how much? Now whether this I should go ahead with this project, how do you decide? At least this project should cover my cost of capital. At least. May ආයතනයේ තියෙන ආයතනයේ තියෙන සල්ලි වල තියෙන capital cost එකත් at least cover වෙනවා. So ආයතනයකට සල්ලි ගන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? එකක් capital අයිතිකාරයෝ දාන්න. අනිත් එක තමයි borrowed funds. Right? We discussed Preference shares is almost similar. It is a kind of shares, but very similar to borrowing, right? But it is a part of the capital, right? But there are now we have discussed what are the rights available for ordinary shareholders, what are the rights available for preference share shareholders, and the number of the types of ordinary shares also we have discussed. Right? So those things important for you all. Right? And I told you that we have missed some papers. We have missed some. We have missed some notes which I gave it to. So then we can finish it off. For the completion purpose only, I have taken this. Now this suit, this is a new one. Now this was tested, right? Now I have given this note to the previous classes as well. But there was a one exam, same thing tested. Same thing. These are the activities you undertake. You means for investment banking. So investment banking divisions undertake these kind of tasks. Now see equity capital markets mainly. So under equity capital market, these are the things you can do. Private placement we have discussed. Now see private placement. The what is the private? What is the different? What is the opposite side of the private placement is IPO. Initial public offering. You invite everybody to come into the scene. You invite all the people to invest in this particular company. But you do now under the private placement, what? You don't invite everybody to come to the scene. You privately speak to one or two people or three people. Mom, me company capital. You speak to individually, less cost. You don't know to print prospectus, right? You don't know to disclose all these things. Private placement. Right issue, we have discussed. Right issue is for whom? Existing shareholders at a discounted price, right? After the right issue, how do you call it? Theoretical ex-right price. The examiner asks you, what is the theoretical ex-right price? Yes, then we will be discussing today the value per rights also we discussed. We'll be discussing today that part. Preference shares, yes, we have discussed. Similar to other shares, but different features compared to ordinary shares. More like this. Mandatory voluntary offer. Mandatory offer means now if the company, if somebody acquires more than 30% of a particular company, then mama John kills 30 issued share capital again 30% mama ganno. 30% මටයි නම් I have to give the other shareholders again I should offer, I should ask them, would you like to sell your shares to me? What's the price? There is a price mechanism as well. The last 2 years, the highest price. So, mandatory offer means if somebody is holding more than 30% of a particular company, he or she should offer he should make a request to the existing remaining shareholders to ask whether they like to sell back their shares to me. That is mandatory offer, voluntary offer, tested in the exam, right? Listed equity placement, same thing. Listing. Remember that we have discussed the 4 methods of being listed. Same thing. Securitization, you have a separate topic. We'll be discussing. Loan syndication also you have a topic, but I'll be giving you a note. Debentures we have discussed. What is the difference between debenture and the share treasury bond? Only the issuer difference. Right? There is no any other difference. Only the issuer is different. Debentures anybody can issue, but treasury bond issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka on behalf of the government. Commercial papers very similar to market money market instrument. Commercial papers will be doing a question with you, right? I have taken this question from the other exam. Examiner has not tested this type of question in your exam. What is the very similar instrument for commercial papers we have discussed so far? Treasury bill. Treasury bill is the very similar instrument for commercial paper. Discounted instrument, money market instrument, maximum 1 year. Similar way of calculating the pricing. Derivatives, SOPs will be undertaking this topic with you today under foreign exchange. Sharia compliance products, no need to have this. And I will be giving, I don't know whether I can remember. You can remember, I think there was some small notes on Sukuk bond. So types of bond, junk bond, Sukuk bond, then the Panda bond. I will be giving that to you if I have not given to you, right? So then you have Sukuk bond. Sukuk bond is the bond issued under the Sharia compliance, under the Sharia laws. That's Sukuk bond, we call it. Same thing, same bond, very similar, but they're actually issuing under Sharia. We call it Sukuk. Then mergers and acquisition, you have a separate topic. Diagnostic studies, part of the mergers and acquisition, we call it due diligence. Diagnostic studies means due diligence. You take, this was tested. So for you to take mergers and acquisition, you have to first do a due diligence. Corporate restructuring, you have separate topic. Employee share option plan schemes. Monahari shares, then example is Sri Lankan Airline. Now Sri Lankan Airline, they have given some shares to the employees. Right? Employees are shares then. Companies privatize employees are the first day offer. Project development, project appraisal we have completed. Now see, your syllabus is basically the task done by the investment banking division. Now these are the things investment bankings are doing. This is the note, right? Mandatory offer. See, 30% of the certain company. If you have more than 30%, then you should offer 30%. Underwrite also unit trust. Unit trust not tested. The examiner, the wordings has not tested, right? Please keep in mind. And these are the possible words I have given to you. Clearinghouse, not in Sri Lanka, but we have Lanka Clear. But clearinghouse, basically, we are using the term internationally, but you can have this in localized terms as well. Stock dealer, stock broker, same thing. Stock broker, stock investment manager, trustee. Now you must have seen when the debenture is issued, there is a manager to issue. I'll show it to you. I will show it to you the latest debenture issue advertisement. Right? I can't upload it, but I can show it to you. I'll show it to you. Unit trust not tested. Unit trust is basically now you can invest in unit trust. What does the unit trust do? They invest somewhere else, similar to our position investment bank. There are separate unit trust companies. Units, they take units, they allocate units. Right? You get a return, annual return. Underwriter we have already discussed. The term underwriter we have already discussed. This is the mandatory offer. Now see, these are the things carried out by the investment banking division, right? Now this was given previously, this tube, right? Only thing I have explained the terms, but I couldn't take up with you also. That's why I asked them to upload it. Now this was given previously. retained earnings කියන්නේ මොනවද? Accumulated profits. So accumulated, so there are few methods of getting some finance that available in your queue. Outside and external, outside or external capital or internal. Now this is internal capital. Now if you don't pay dividend, when you make profit, you have to definitely pay the dividends for the people who have put money. Who are they? Owners. People who have put money to the company, we call it shareholder. අයිතිකාරයනේ. සල්ලි දාන්නේ කම්පැනිට අයිතිකාරයනේ. සල්ලි වලින් වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ any form. ඉඩමක් දුන්නත් කම්පැනිට that is he is a shareholder. So he'll be given dividend. But if you don't pay dividend, then you can have the accumulated profit in the company itself. මේ සල්ලි තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. Company can have it. Now, generally, if you want to pay dividend, you have to pay in cash. Cash වලින් තමයි ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. සාමාන්‍ය when you invest in a company, you get a check. You get a check after announcement of dividend. These are the dividend entitlement level or check when you have invested particular company, right? So then, so that is dividend in cash. But some companies are there, they don't have cash to pay. There are companies who have declared dividend, but they don't have money to pay. But they have to still pay the dividend. So how do they pay? They pay in the form of company shares. සල්ලි වෙනුවට shares දෙනවා. ඒ company. Then you have more what? More number of shares. සල්ලි හම්බ වෙනකොට තව shares හම්බ වෙනවා. Some people don't like. There are investors who don't like scrip dividend. We call it scrip dividend, not tested still exam, right? High chance of testing. Scrip dividend. Dividend is paid in the form of shares. That is scrip dividend. Keep in mind. And we have discussed rights issue, the terms right issue, bonus issue, and the share split. All these words important for you all. Right? If the company does not have money to pay dividend, but still they want to pay dividend, they do this scrip dividend. Paying dividend in the form of shares. A company shares, then you have ඊළඟ පාරවා dividend හම්බෙනකොට you have more dividend, right? You have more number of shares. But මේ පාරවට සල්ලි හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. So advantages, disadvantages, you can read it. Preference shares, this was given previously, right? These are the types of preference shares. Just to read. Debt capital. Right. Now, under debt capital, we have discussed mainly the two instruments. That is debenture and treasury bonds. What is the difference? Only issue is different. So now next week I show it to you how the debenture is issued. So when I show it to you, I will discuss this floating and the fixed. So then I can explain it to the board, but you won't be able to understand. I can show it to you. Fixed means, now say the debenture is 5 years. So the fixed rate, 5-year fixed. Interest is paid annually, 5-year fixed. අවුරුදු 5යි semi annually hari annually hari interest ගෙවනවා fixed. But floating, variable. What does it mean? Variable generally we have after 6 months. So every 6 months floating rate or the variable rate is reset. So then floating rates are based on 6-month treasury bill generally. මාස 6 treasury bill rate plus margin. I'll show it to you the advertisement. 6-month treasury bill rate plus 3%. That is variable rate. අද decide කරොත් ඊළඟ මාස 6 දී ඊළඟ මාස 6 ඉවර වෙනකොට හම්බෙන්නේ අද තීරණය කරපු treasury bill rate එකට plus 3% margin. ඊළඟ මාස 6 මේක මාස 6 මාස 6 කූපන් ගෙවනවා නම් අපි කියමු මාස 6 ගෙවලා ඉවරයි right. මේ මාස 6 ගෙවුවා agree වෙච්ච rate එක. So the next coming මාස 6ට today you decide 6 month treasury bill rate plus 3%. Margin can't be changed right. 3% now at the time of the issue 3% treasury bill rate plus 3% and 3% you have to maintain. You can't change the margin, but what is the difference? මොකද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ? Only the reference rate. What do you mean by reference rate? 6 month treasury bill rate. The base may be every week you have option. Every week you have option. එතකොට මේ මාස 6කින් 6කට නම් ගෙවන්නේ අවුරුදු 5ක් තිස්සේ ගෙවන්නේ නැත්නම් අවුරුද්දට දෙක ගන්න. So every 6 month යි ඒ අදාළ ලං වෙනකොට තියෙන treasury bill මාස ඒ week එකේ තියෙන treasury bill rate එකට you adjust. So every 6 months. Oh, you can have it every annual variable rate that kind of flow. You have 12-month treasury bill rate. That's possible. Not possible. 1 year treasury bill rate plus 3%. Or 6 month treasury bill rate plus. If it is 6 months, every 6 months you have to make the coupon payment. If it is 1 year, every 1 year you have to make the coupon payment. But what is the difference between fixed and floating? Fixed නම් 10 කියලා. මේ අවුරුද්ද 10 ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද 10 ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද 10 ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද 10. But variable නම් annual මේ අවුරුද්ද treasury bill rate එක plus 3% මාන. ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද තියෙන ලං වෙලා තියෙන treasury bill rate plus 3%. ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද treasury bill rate plus 3%. Treasury bill rate every week changes. We have learned, right? Now you know. That is variable. There is a reference rate. What is the reference rate? Treasury bill rate. Right? Understood? So I'll show it to the advertisement, then you can easily identify. There are two types, fixed and floating. Examiners tested this kind of questions with a 5 mark, 20 mark question, right? We'll be doing all these questions. Very easy question. Only the texts are there, but it's an easy question, right? And these are the types of debt capital, just to read. And I want to do, once we have done, deep discounting bonds. This is the term. Remember this term. Deep discount. Now you know discount, premium, par. That 3 words we have discussed. Premium. Monada bonds issue karna premium ekata. Monada bonds issue karna debate issue karna discount. Par. Par means 100. Anything you issue at par, that is this instrument is issued at par. More than 100 we call it what? Premium bond. Less than 100 we call it a discount. This deep discounting bond means what? C එකක් issue කරනවා 95ට. C එකක් issue කරනවා 95ට. Right? C එකක් issue කරනවා 95ට. So that is deep discounting bond. So you have to buy 100 worth of unit at 95. Benefited or not? Benefited. Why? Today you purchase at 95, but after the maturity period, end of the tenor, you will be receiving 100. So 5 rupee gain. 5 rupee gain. It's easy. It's good investment. Today you purchase 95. After 5 years time or whatever the period tenor, after the tenor you will be receiving 100. What is 100? Face value. So deep discounting bond. There are one or two occasions we have seen this deep discounting bond, right? So generally, when you issue bonds, when you take bonds, you prefer to take discount bond, right? So we have, when we do the calculation of bond pricing, we have learned that today you purchase and you will be receiving end of the period 100 coupon interest and the yield and everything we have discussed. But it doesn't mean that you can't purchase particular bonds or debenture at 110. So I'm 110 ගත්තොත් අද මට end of the period I am getting 100. Am I losing 10? No, it won't. Why? Basically depend on the yield. basically depending on the yield. So yield is the main thing. So we have discussed, remember the price and the yield relationship. When the yield goes up, price should come down. Same thing. Now everything we learn here is interconnected. Now see, examiner can test you anything, but you have learned everything. Only thing you have to organize it. Where do we have this? Where do we have this? So what does it mean now? See, now price and the price and the yield. When the price goes up, it should come down. Now we give yield is 10%. Price එක 95. Example, right? When the yield has come down to 8, price should be more than 95 and less than 95. This comes down, this goes up. It is 19. Same thing. So we can have 110. Possible. So who is benefited here? Seller. So if I am the holder of government security, I would like interest rate to come down. So who is the benefited? Who is benefit? Who gets the benefit? Seller. But now, if I am the benefit holder, seller, obviously the buyer has to lose. Same thing. No, I don't say. So if I am willing to have my money invested at 8%, මට 8% මොන හරි return එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා නම් මේ instrument එකේ වෙනකොටත් ඒක හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්නම් so I am investing. I am purchasing this bond at 110. So I am earning how much? What is my yield? 8%. When I have instrument එකේ මට හම්බෙන්නේ 6%, 7%, FD වලින් හම්බෙන්නේ 7%. So I am at least 8% of හම්බ වෙනවා නම් I am buying. But you will be buying this bond at a premium. 110 will earn, but end of the period you will be receiving 100 only. But still, I am okay. Why? I can earn my yield at 8%. So see, someone can test you these kind of scenarios, connecting to everything, right? Right. Sorry. This is goes. Zero coupon bonds we have discussed, that is treasury bill. There is no coupon, right? Zero. And also just read it. This is important note: convertible bond, callable bond, puttable. Now convertible option we have discussed. Remember, when you issue debentures. Now these days you issue convertible debentures. Why? When the convertible debentures are issued, only you can take these debentures into capital. Convertible means we have discussed in the class, that is one day you have the option to convert this into shares. Will be a question on this. So that is a convertible option. Who has the right? That's the important thing. Who has the right? මම මේක shares වලට convert කරනවාද අවුරුදු දෙකකට පස්සේ නැත්නම් මම දිගටම debenture එකක් විදිහට තියාගෙන යනවාද අවුරුදු 5 වෙනකම්? Who has the right? It's you only. The investor has the right. Investor has the right to execute. The investor has the power to say that no, I will be converting this into shares. So investor has the right. The holder has the right. Now see, holder has the right. He will be only deciding. Now see the callable option. Who has the right? Issuer has the right. What do you mean by callable option? Now see, you issue a debenture today, 10%. You issue a debenture today, 10%. 5-year debenture. අවුරුදු දෙකක් විතර ගියාට පස්සේ then you check the market, interest rates have come down to 6%. If you issue a debenture for 5 years now, again I mean අවුරුදු දෙකකට පස්සේ now, right? Then you can raise money at 6%. Since you have previously issued this bond for 5 years, you have to continuously pay 10% gaane 5 years you have to pay. Why? It is agreed. Outbahag bond, you can't say that out there you can't finish it off. But if you have a callable option in this particular instrument, you can call it. Why should I pay at 10%? Another 3 years. Another 3 years. Why you want to pay for 3 years? So I should continue paying coupon interest after 2 years. I will issue a fresh debenture at 6%, 4% gain. So you are gaining, paying more than 4%. Why? Earlier issued 10%, now you will be issuing 6%, right? 4% gain. You are saving this 4% gain for 3 years, balance 3 years. You are not paying 10% then. You will discontinue to pay. Why? You have option called callable option. You check the market. When the interest rates have come down after the issue, then you call the option. You execute this callable option. Who is the victim in this particular scenario? Investor is in trouble. Mama hitana 10% gaane I can earn for 5 years. My cash flows, everything was prepared accordingly. I will be receiving 5 years 10% gaane. But suddenly what? Issuer decided to recall. Issuer decided to execute the callable option. So then finish. So they will set off. The company will settling. Company will pay off existing liability or by issuing a new share or whatever, by issuing new debenture or what. So I'll be losing. No, nothing matters. That's a different thing. I won't get anything more than 6%. Why? They are issuing at 6%. Why should I pay? Why the company should pay at 10%? Whereas they have the opportunity to raise at 6%. So that is callable option. So who is the victim there? Sure. I'm sorry, the investor is the victim. Now see the two words, convertible debentures and convertible bonds, or convertible debenture and callable debenture or callable bonds. Only once we have this callable option. But when you put a callable option, you have to pay huge, or not huge, but you have to pay a significantly higher yield. 10% you have to pay at least 20%. Investor is in trouble. For I make interest rate call right done. So then your cash flows are not certain. So then you have to pay more. Issuer has to pay more to attract investors. Puttable bonds is basically, it's another word just to keep in mind. Now see junk bond. Junk bond is basically the bonds which pay more yield. You can't sell these kind of bonds once when the government of Sri Lanka country rating is downgraded. Our sovereign bonds, they can issue US dollar sovereign bonds, also gone into this category, junk bond. You pay more yield. Now same thing that's happening, right? For the dollar sovereign bonds, secondary market, then you are trading at 14 rates. So the dollar government issue 6%. Now it's trading at 14%. Now see, government issued. Now see, government issued sovereign bond 6%. They issued dollar bond, right? They issued 6%. Now it's trading at 14%. Same thing. 6% will make issue go now because make a common make issue for power. Like this is coupon. 100 kg exam. Whatever the amount you take it. Yield has gone up. what should happen to the pricing? Come down low, go up. Yield has gone up. When yield goes up, price should come down. It should be more 86, 85. So now you can buy. Now the investors can buy, foreign investors. 85 after the tenor or the period, you will be receiving 100. 100 ගත්ත එක නම් දැන් 85ට විකුණනවා. Why? 100ට ගත්ත එක්කන 85ට විකුණන්නේ ඇයි? You have purchased something at 100. This is a real situation for Sri Lanka GSL sovereign bond, right? Present market conditions. This is what actually happening now. 80ට 100ට ගත්ත එකන 85ට විකුණන්නේ ඇයි? Why? What's the reason?
They are getting a higher interest.
No, what I'm asking from the seller side. Why do you want to pay? Why do you want to sell an instrument? You have purchase cost is 100, but you are selling at 85. You are losing 15. Why do you want to sell it? Now, this is the reality of GSL sovereign bond. So why investors? These are now you can't invest these bonds, right? Only the foreigners can invest, offshore people. Why foreigners are selling GSL sovereign bonds at a loss? So they don't have what? They don't have confidence whether this Sri Lankan government will honor this payment. So they want to get rid of this investment, even at a loss. Even at a loss. So if the government does not honor this payment, the government default international sovereign bond like Lebanon, like Lebanon, right? So then they will be in trouble. So the investors won't get money. So then they say we can't honor this payment. So that's the perception foreign investors have on Sri Lanka. So this actually aggravated when the country is downgraded. So credit rating is what we discussed. You are giving an independent opinion on the default risk. You are giving whether this payment is payable or not, they will settle it. Third party angle. You are giving a third party opinion. Investors don't know what's happening in Sri Lanka inside, but rating agents are there to analyze and give them what kind of situation, real situation. So we have a lot of issues. So then the people say, so the rating agency says, okay, now there is a possibility of default. So then when the country is, we are downgrading this country. So then when the country is downgraded means what? So your debt payment ability is also coming down. So එහෙම වුණාම මොකද කරන්නේ? අඩු නිකුණයක් තන් 100 හම්බෙන්නේ at least I am getting 85 now. That's how they think. But we know our Sri Lanka government has never defaulted anything. So they will know there is a $1 billion payment. $1 billion sovereign bond is maturing on the 4th of October. 1 billion plus the interest they are 6%. So they'll have to make. They have not reissued. Reissue but they will be settling October 4th sovereign bond. So they will later issue one. So they will be definitely honor this payment, and that we know. But investors will not. Investors won't think like that. Foreign investors, they don't think like that. They when the country is downgraded by the rating agencies, they think our investment is in trouble. So they suddenly want to get rid of this investment. Same thing happens. This is a real situation still, right? Real situation still. Now it is who is benefited here. Now say They forget about the default risk. So we are benefited. The purchaser is benefited. Seller is losing. Seller anyway losing. So if the seller loses, buyer benefited. So you take at 85, end of the period on the measured, you will be getting 100. Right? This is opportune time for the investors to purchase, but they should have a good perception on the Sri Lankan debt settlement. Sri Lankan banks also are allowed to purchase sovereign bonds subject to some restriction. Now they have imposed some restriction to purchase sovereign bonds. ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ ගන්න පුළුවන් secondary market, but primary market you can't, right? The government is expecting new fresh foreign funds by issuing sovereign bonds. මේ sovereign bond issue කරපුවාම government එක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන offshore customers එකෙන් මේ පිටරට ඉන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. foreigners. Second ගත්තට පස්සේ secondary market එකේ you can with the special approval banks can invest. So your dollar is basically investing at what rate? 14%. How much you pay for NRC customers? Maximum we get 6%. A 6% වලට ගන්න දේවල් you can invest at 14%. See the difference. 14% rupee interest එකක්. Very good opportunity. But only thing government has put a restriction. Restriction means what? You can invest in sovereign bond, secondary market sovereign bond with the new funds only. They have recently, with this corona pandemic situation only, they have introduced this. So March they have introduced with the new funds. If you have borrowed funds, then you can purchase this one. This was not earlier. It wasn't there earlier occasion. Right? The only thing with the new borrowed funds you can invest this. But earlier anything now, even NRFC funds, the NRFC customers funds also allowed to invest in GSL sovereign bond secondary market. Secondary market only, remember, not the primary market. We know that all these differences. Secondary market and the primary market. We know the segregation. We know the distinct difference between markets, right? Secondary market, primary market, relevant to shares, relevant to debentures, everything. Same thing. So after the trading happens, then you can purchase. That is secondary. Right? This is also allow banks to allow investing secondary market only. So everything is this relationship matters. Okay. Right. Then understand and keep in mind these figures. I'm sorry, the terms. Convertible debentures. Now, when you issue a debenture, your bank, when you issue a debenture, convertible option is there. So I told you, now government banks can't issue convertible debentures. Why? They can't convert the debentures of the liability into shares. They have only one shareholder, that is government. The private banks, yes, they have number of shareholders. They have new shares. They can issue shares. They can issue convertible debentures. So then generally when you issue Basel III compliant debentures, it is convertible debentures. I'll show it to the advertisement. They can convert. So instead of issuing convertible debentures, government banks issued what kind of debentures? Tier 1 perpetual bonds. Told you. I will give you a note on this, right? Perpetual debentures, so features and everything. Perpetual debentures. That is for government banks to raise the raise funds. Rather than raising funds, they can take these debentures amount into the capital. Otherwise they can't. Common debenture issue karagla, they can't take into the capital. Right? If the government is not giving capital, then they'll have to issue debentures to comply with the Basel III requirement. So that is Tier 1 perpetual bonds for who government banks take into the capital, Tier 1 capital, to fulfill the requirements of Tier 1 capital. I will give you notes on this, right? Just towards the end. And other banks, of course, they can issue Basel III compliant debenture with the option of convertible option. Right? These are things for you to read. This convertible debentures, I will be doing a question on it. Syndication, you have separate notes on this loan syndication. Now dispute is a new one. I will be giving dispute for this listing requirement. It's available the listing requirement. We have mainly two boards, main board and Dirisavi board. There are listing requirements as well. There are listing requirements, right? There are listing requirements. Just keep in mind the listing requirement for these two boards. And I'll be giving another note on MCB and Empower board listing requirement. I have paper cuttings with me. Only thing I can upload it to you. I will read it to you. You can write it down. I will read it to you. Right? So this is important. Listing requirements and listing requirements for main board and the Dirisavi board. Right? Now these are things we discussed earlier. Euro bond, Panda bond, Samurai bond, and this is a part of this Sukuk bond as well. If you have the enough space, you just write it down. Sukuk bond. Now Euro bond means any bond you issue other than your country's currency. Now api monari dollar bond ek issue karotte that is Euro bond. It is Euro wala issue wenna onne. Other than the reported country's currency. The US, United States, America, Japanese yen වලින් bond එකක් issue කරොත් that is Euro bond for them. අපේ රටේ අපි රුපියල් වලින්ට අමතරව issue කරන හැම bond එකම we call Euro bond. Remember the term. Panda bond means what? Bonds issued in Chinese renminbi. Chinese renminbi කියන්නේ China වල දෙන main currency. So if you are issuing bonds in Chinese renminbi or CNY, we call Panda bond. Samurai bond is bonds issued in JPY. Sukuk bond means bonds issued under the Sharia compliance. Sukuk bond, right? New word. It's missing here. So then keep that mind. Just write it down, right? Sukuk. You just read it. The balance part is important. Not on this obtaining listing. TDS cannot make it. TDS can generally stock exchange. Your exam is not asking any question. The other exam, financial market operation, is this is the pet area, secret exchange. But for your knowledge, only I have included this. Just read it. This is the apex body for shares. Then below that you have CSC, like that, right? CDS. So when you open account in the name of your ID number, CDS එක තමයි ඒක තියෙන්නේ. Central Depository System, right? Now this one, these are the methods of being listed. Now this dispute was given previously, right? But I have explained this. Prospectus means IPO. For sale, already issued shares. Placing, private placement, introduction. You don't want to raise funds, but you just listing. Those are the 4 methods of being listed. I explained everything in detail. Prospectus we have learned IPO. Offer for sale. Already in use. Already issued shares. Tamai offer for sale. No new shares. Then you have private placement. Then you have introduction. It's only literal meaning, right? This example I will take here. Underwriting we have discussed. Just go through this. These are the fees involving. Advantages, disadvantages of public listing. This was frequently tested question. Being listed, what are the advantage you get? Investor get. Now, when you get listed, you can address lot of people. You can ask mass to invest, and also you are subject to the corporate governance. Hey, list karapam, you have to comply with the continuous listing requirement. Now, Momisala listing requirement before being listed. List when itself, fulfill. Now we have another set of rules. Continue listing requirement. The question we will take up that question. What are the continuous listing requirements? So then you have to comply. So you have good corporate governance. You are more transparent when you're being listed. So everybody likes to invest in these kind of companies. Why? Transparent. Right? So you have enough and more advantages being listed. Right issue, we have discussed this. Only thing I wrote down this one. 1 for 4 shares. I just wanted to show it to you. This is how it says. 1 for 4. So always you take which rights? X right for the calculation without right. 1 for 4 at 15. This is how it says. 1 for 4 means how many new? 1 new. You always have a lesser amount as new. 1 new. Now read this question, please. The market price is July 1st to 210 per share. Company decides to make a right issue at 1 new share at 150 for each every 4 shares already issued. Already held. So how do we do this question? One new shares every 4. 1 new share at 150. That is right issue price is 150. 4 shares already held. After the announcement, share price fell to 195. That's true, right? Why? More supply is to become. But prior to the right issue, it had recovered to 200. Take the latest price, market price, is 200. So the next time I ask you, what is the X right price? So the 150 here, 800, you have 950 divided by number of shares sold 5. So 5. Right? Or it's being calculated. Calculator. Now this is how it calculates. This is how it calculates. We have discussed this. 1 new at right issue price 150 below the market. Yes, correct. Market price is 200 at a discount. Excessive for 800 950 divided by total number of shares after right issue. So answer should be 950 divided by 5. That is right issue. But this is theoretical X right price. It should be. That is theoretical X right price. $950 divided by 5, 190. The answer. Right? It's below the market. Market price is how much? 200. Below the market, right? Why it's below the market? Why the prices have come down? Obviously, you had 4, now you have additional 1. You have more shares. Supply has gone up. So when the supply has gone up, prices should come down. Same scenario. Understood? Right. It's calculated, right? This one. Something, right? The examiner can ask you this question as well. The value of a right, straightforward. Theoretically, once you find out the theoretical exercise price minus issue price, right issue price, divided by number of shares existing for, not five. So this also, this is a new thing, right? I have taken from the point exam paper. Theoretical gain, the value of rights. So you can have that as well. The examiner has not tested this part, right, so far, but he has tested twice theoretical exercise price, not this. Value of right has not been tested. I don't know whether they will test it or not, but just keep in mind, then we can completely, everything is complete. Right, with the right issue, you can't have other than these two questions, except there is no way to ask any question other than questions these on right issue, right? Question complete. So then you can try this question. Same thing, right? Company current market price to 10. Company wishes to make 1 for 5 rights. 1 for 5 rights means 1 new. Discounted price of 108. That's straightforward. Current market is 210. Now the right issue price is 180. True at a discount price for the existing shareholders. So you can do this, right? It's straightforward the calculation. And we have discussed this as well. There are 4 options for you all for the right entitlement. Take up. When you take the rights, you have to pay money. Renounce the rights and sell them on the market. Renounce means you say no. So that's a word in this financial market. The use word is renunciation. You say no. Renounce the rights and sell them in the market. I have a right. You can do that. Renounce the part of the right and take the remainder. I don't have much money, but I'm taking a little balance. I'll be selling in the market. Do nothing. A lot of people are doing this. Do nothing. So I told you, if you don't do anything, but company does something, but company is selling anything. If you sell, you get something, but if you don't sell, company sells, they get the benefit, maximum benefit. Right? Do something when you have the entitlement of the share rights, right? Don't say, don't ignore it now. Now you know. You can do 4 things with the rights. So I have explained all the mechanism, all the benefits, each option. Script dividend we have already discussed. Bonus issue we have discussed. Splits discussed. Right. Now these are the ratios I'll be discussing later with you in the investor ratios. Remember that we have discussed. I'll give you a note on this. And what are the terms we know to discuss? Useful terms. Primary market we have discussed. Yes. Secondary market. Yes. CDS just now we discussed. Where your share account is maintained, that is CDS. Valuation, PE ratios, we'll be discussing investor ratios. company can repurchase its own shares recently introduced with the changes to the Companies Act. Listing requirement done. CSE indices. Did we discuss or not? Yes, we discussed S&P and all share price index. Remember, warrants. Warrants means sweetener. Sweetener to purchase shares. If we have enough space, I don't know if it's possible. Just write it down. Sweetener. The sweetener to purchase shares. Again, you issue shares with the option that warrants. Again, warrants කියලා කියන්නේ share එක ගන්න කරන encouragement එක. You have attached a warrant as well. Warrant එක කියන්නේ it's a kind of shares තමයි. But ඒකේ කියන උදාහරණයකට John Peel shares අද ගන්නවා නම් ඔයාලට කියනවා අවුරුදු දෙකක් අවසානයේ මේකට තව share එකක් add වෙලා තියෙන්නේ අවුරුදු දෙකක් අවසානයේ ඒ share එක ඔයාලට මේ ගානට විකුණ ගන්න පුළුවන්. So මේ ගාන මේකයි value කියලා ඉවරලා you have embedded option with the share. That is warrant. Sweetener, we call it the sweetener, right, for the share, right? So only thing we have not done this valuation, that will be taken up later. And I have to give you MCB board and default board listing requirement. That is paper article I have given you. And also I just wanted to give you this cue for you to read only the literal meaning. So I have not included loan syndication. I will be separately dealt with you. That is also just to read. Now this asset management, wealth management, underwriting, financial brokering and investment research. All these things are literal meanings. Examiner has tested except underwriting, the other part. So 5-mark question. So they tell you to explain the word, to explain the terms below. Asset management, wealth management, financial brokering, investment research. Tested 5-mark each. So I have explained everything in detail for you to read. What do you mean by wealth management and wealth management and asset management? Fund management also counts, right? Wealth is more broader than asset. Only the literal meaning. If you say wealth, everything you undertake, even the tax payment also you undertake. Even tax payment also you undertake under wealth management, right? Not in Sri Lanka much developed, but it's there, right? Remember, this is not tested, this firm commitment best effort, but just it's better to keep in mind underwriting method, right? Not underwriting term not tested, huh? Examiners not tested this underwriting method, right? And the last, the previous time I just want to do previous discussion. I just want to discuss with you this. Now remember, we have discussed the price and the yield. And we have I told you, not discussed, there are 4 types of yield curve. One thing is rising, second one is declining, third one is flat, and the hump down. Right? I'll show it to you. Now, what do you mean by yield curve? So your exam, lot of questions are based on this yield curve, and we have discussed when you doing the discussion with you on bonds. Remember? Now say, when you want, now say I am coming to you. Why I am coming to you? I am investment banking limited. I am coming to you. Raise 100 million debenture. I'm coming to you. එතකොට කියනවා මේක ඩිවෙන්චර් එකක් ඉෂු කරමු. 5 year ඩිවෙන්චර් එකක් ඉෂු කරන්න යන්නේ. දැන් අපි ඉන්ටරෙස්ට් රේට් අපිට අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා අපි හිතනවා 8% වලට 8% fixed. So generally we know that variable option is also available. Make a coupon payment given annual. Annually given see data out the park. This is one option. This is second option. 6 months special bill plus become 3%. Possible. This is annual. This is 6 months. Every 6 months, this interest rate reset. Right? Two options: fixed, variable. How do you decide? %8% how do you decide? Lot of criteria. Generally, we take treasury bond rate. Treasury bond rate here than 5 years. Obviously, it should be more than treasury bond issues whom? Government or central bank. Is there any risk? Default risk? No. But other than the government, anything you issue, there is a risk. Make a hatana 1% at that's possible. Then you have a risk premium. Even you are rated AAA, even you are fully owned by the government. Government anyway, you are carrying a risk, then you have to pay more than the treasury bond rate. That you understand. So these are the things you take into account when you decide in the price, when you quote in the price. 8% should be attracted to whom? Investors as well. මිනිස්සුන්ට මේක සල්ලි දාන්න 8% ඉතින් හොඳ වෙන්නත් ඕන. අපු වැඩ නැති yield එක ගන්න කියලා මිනිස්සු කිව්වා මිනිස්සු දාන්නේ නැහැ. දාන්නේ ඒක yield එක හොඳ වෙන්නත් ඕන. කම්පැනිට පාඩු වෙන්නත් ඕන. ඉතින් මේක ඕන මේ කම්පැනිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් මේක 120ක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර people will invest. But is it worthwhile? This is your cost, company cost. Company gets money, you have to pay coupon payment 20%. It's a cost. So there should be a balance. So you take the decision. Investment banking, people. A lot of criteria you have to take into account: prices, current market prices, and also you have to take into account. You have a sense what will happen in the future interest rate. ඉස්සරහට මොනවා වෙයිද? ඉස්සරහට interest rate එක අඩු වෙනවා. I'm asking you the examiner's questions now. See. ඉස්සරහට interest rate එක අඩු වෙනවා. Do you issue this particular bond? You can suggest 5 years stand again or 3 years stand. Think from the issuer side. ඉස්සරහට interest rate එක අඩු වෙනවා. So will you ask the issuer to go for 5 year or 3 year? What do you think?
3 years. 3 years.
Yeah. Now, why do you say so? 3 years to go. So after 3 years time, you can raise money at a lower interest rate. That's question. That's obvious. So how do you decide this? How do you know interest rate in the future will come down? Based on this only. What is this? Yield curve. So based on the yield curve, so today you draw this. This is yield percentage, this is time. So you draw this, then you will be deciding in the future interest rate as well. Now there are 4 types of yield curve: increasing, decreasing, flat, and hump down. These are the 4 types. generally in the exam, if you ask 3 types, sometimes some textbooks also take thumbs up as well 4 types. The exam asks you 4, this is the 4th one. So when I ask 3, so how do you decide this future interest rate? Based on yield curve. Yield curve is there for that only. But you predict future interest rate based on today's information. You take the decision based on today's information. It can be wrong. After 1 year's time, completely it can be changed. Then you revise. But even you revise the yield curve, can you revise this? You can't. Already binded. So to avoid this kind of situation, what do you suggest? Now you know. 3 years old after issue karana, you have to pay 3 years for the money. Given do it. You have drawn a yield curve. The interest rate වැඩි වෙනවා. When you issue in this debenture, you have this. Then you will be selecting the option 5 year. ඉස්සරහට interest rate වැඩි වෙනවනේ දැන් මම block කරන එක හොඳයි. මම කියන්නේ I am the issuer, right? I have a cost. But ඉස්සරහට එන ගොඩක් සල්ලි වලට issue කරනවා. දැන් I'm blocking my funding cost for long term at a lower rate. It's good for me. Then I decided to issue at 8% for 5 years. Why? I have this increase in trend of yield curve. But after 2 years time, I have this. But you can't do anything. Why? Committed. To avoid, if the examiner asks you to avoid this kind of confusion, there is no any wrong, right? Why? Based on today's information, you decide this. Now, did we know anything on Sunday is the attack? Is the Sunday attack? No, we didn't know. So do we have any idea of corona pandemic spreading like this? No. Unfortunate, but unprecedented, what do you call this, not pre-planned, right? Contingent one. So then you have to change it. So to avoid this, I can ask you to avoid this kind of confusion. What do you suggest to have this particular instrument? Tell me the option. Think from the issuer side. Just learn now. Go ahead. What do you put? What do you suggest to put the option? Interest rate. Now you issued at 5 years 10. But I can't do anything. Why? I have committed this one out to Paha. I have commitment. So I can't do anything. But to avoid that, what do you suggest to have? What kind of option you suggest? You're working in investment banking division. If I am the issuer, you are issuing on behalf of me. Mama question Sir, madam, sorry, interesting. Rates fall out. Mama, how to pass it? So what do you answer? What is your answer? You can have option for what? What do you want to do? 2 years, 3 years, interest rate you have a declining trend of interest rate. Why should you pay for another 2 years? 8% ගණයි ගෙවන්නේ මට මේක 5 ගන්න ඉෂුව ගන්න පුළුවන්. Then you suggest to have what? Callable option. So if the examiner asks you what is your suggestion, your answer should be you should have a callable option. Why? Callable option is for whom? Issuer. For what? When the interest rates come down. So you can call this, you can settle this existing debenture and issue fresh one at a lower interest rate. Who has the right? Issue. So that's it. Now this is how the examiner asks you questions. He can ask you many ways, but you have learned. Only thing, application. So if once we finish this syllabus, you should be able to answer 80 or 85% of the examination paper. So that's why I told you in the first lecture, this is a paper difficult to fail. So I still doubt why the students have failed this exam. He has never asked anything outside the syllabus. There are a few occasions, that's true, but it doesn't actually it's not a thing to fail the exam. Only 46 marks. So 46 marks gone when the question it didn't have impact. So you want to give one question, complete 20 mark question, then you have 80 marks. So it's a very difficult exam to fail. You can pass this exam easily. 46 marks is anyway, but still there are fail percentages. But if you listen to the delivery of lectures, and also if you concentrate the notes which I give you, I don't think I can't see any difficulty you face to pass this exam. I don't see. You pass the exam easily. The last question paper was quite easy one. The latest question paper we have 2019 September. 2020 we didn't have any exam. Now if you have the question paper, now question number 4 is on TAPM. The lengthy question. I don't know if you can see this. If you have the question paper, just see 4 marks question. The lengthy. Now only thing, just keep in mind, if sometimes if student sees the lengthy question, they think this question is too much different, too much difficult, too difficult. But if you read this question, only the application of CAPM. CAPM, risk-free rate. Remember that we discussed last week. Risk-free rate plus beta within bracket market return minus risk-free close bracket. Same thing. If you have the formula with you, only the application. But only thing is you have to keep in mind, there are unnecessary information as well. I'll read it to you. If you, I don't know whether you have this question paper with you. For your reference, I'll be not doing this, but I just wanted to show it to you. The capital asset pricing model describes the relationship between systematic and expected return for assets. Remember, same sentence we discussed. We said beta is for what? To measure the systematic risk. What do you mean by systematic risk? Systematic risk is common to everybody. Can it be avoided? Which one can be avoided? Unsystematic risk. How? Through diversification. Now see how many questions examiner can ask you these 2 words, 3 words. We have learned, we have done everything in the class. Now each sentence you don't worry about. You say systematic risk, we have done. expected return for asset, required rate of return. Now, this paper, for your exam paper, each word is familiar to you. Completed. Particular stocks. Remember that we have discussed aggressive, beta more than 1, beta less than 1, performing more than the market, performing less than the market, everything done. CAPM is widely used throughout the finance world for pricing risky securities and generating expected return for the asset given that risk of those assets and cost of capital. This sentence is completely irrelevant. Text. මේ දෙන වාක්‍යයක් මොනවාරි දැන් ලියන්න ඕනේ ඉන්න එකපාරට කැපෙන් එක මොකක්ද කියලා අහන්න බැරි නිසා exam එක gives about lengthy question කිසිම සම්බන්ධයක් නැහැ sentences දෙකම. Following information is available for your analysis. 10-year treasury bond yield 9.83. Then what do they talk about? Treasury bond rate. Why they have given treasury bond rate? Risk-free rate. Average weighted prime lending rate 10.84. What do you mean by prime lending rate? Prime lending rate means what? The first lecture I gave you terms. There you have average weighted prime lending rate. If you take your bank, ඔයාලගේ බැංකුවේ හොඳම කස්ටමර්ස් දෙන rates වගේක් තියෙනවා. You have to report these rates to central bank as well. If it is more than 10 million, special customers are හොඳම customers දෙන rates වගේක් තියෙනවා. Prime lending rate. මට දෙන rate එක නෙමෙයි ඔයාගේ බැංකුවේ ඔයා දෙන හොඳ customer දෙන rate එක ඊට වඩා අඩුයි. But you want to retain the customer. You call it prime lending rate. Now, do we have any figure to substitute in the CAPM prime lending rate? No. Equity market beta. Yes. Beta value which measures the systematic risk. Market risk premium 2.34. Given the above information as an investment analyst, what is the expected rate of return from equity market based on capital asset pricing model? Show your calculation with the formula. Now see, you have to keep in mind the formula. In this exam, formulas are not given. The examiner is expecting, it's a 5-mark question, right? Only the application. 2019 September, latest paper. March 2020, latest paper. The 5-mark question only. If you know the formula, that's the application. There are some irrelevant information. What? Prime lending rate take out. If you know the formula, so examiner wants to know whether you know the formula. Capital asset pricing model. Right? So we are using for what? To find out the return of required rate of return. So very easy. The 5-mark question, just application. We have risk-free rate 9.83 plus beta 1.5. Then you have within bracket, remember, market return minus risk-free. What is the market return? Market return is not given. But we have done, if the market return is not given, market return minus risk-free rate, we have a separate word called what? Risk premium. Risk premium is given. 2.33. Very easy. A 5-mark question.
Sir, excuse me, intrinsic value is same as the cost
Sorry?
of intrinsic value.
Yeah. Intrinsic value means the true value. So true value and the market value may be different. So when you calculate something based on the whatever the formula, for example, now say when you calculate the bond pricing, so we get the intrinsic value. But market value may be different. Market gives this, I need this. Remember that we have learned the formulas. We have learned the relationship. What kind of relationship suddenly your mind should go. So suddenly your mind should go to undervalue, overvalue. So the market price is more than the required rate of return. Market price is more than the intrinsic value. Then you decide whether you buy it or not. So always you should buy undervalue, which is market gives more. Market gives more than the expectation, which is undervalue. If the market gives more than I need, then you buy. Why? Undervalue. You have a potential to go. Why? Market is giving more. No බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා 10. නමුත් market එක ඇත්තටම 15ක් දෙනවා. මට 10ක් තිබුණා නැති. Should I buy? Yes. Why not? I can go up to 50. So intrinsic value means true value. That's the value. So market value and the intrinsic value may be completely different or maybe similar. There was an examination question, definition of the market value and the intrinsic value. When you calculate the bond, we get the intrinsic value. Yeah.
Is any formula available for to calculate intrinsic value?
No, there is no formula. Intrinsic value means the true value. So anything you find by using anything. True value means intrinsic value.
But so it's one of the question is available in 2018 past paper. They give dividend of shares and current growth rate and equity risk premium, current risk-free rate. All the information are available, and question is determine the intrinsic value of the share.
So then that formula you are using to find what? That formula you are using to find what?
Cost of equity.
So the intrinsic value means true value.
Ah.
So anything you get true value, whatever the formula you are using, can relevant to bonds, it can relevant to shares, it can relevant to this, it can relevant to this. What is the intrinsic value of this? Is there any formula? No. Is there any formula? No. But there is intrinsic value. But you are using to find the intrinsic value by using a formula is a different issue. But you get the answer, that is intrinsic value. You got it? By using the formula, by using the dividend model, you are finding the cost of capital. So that is your intrinsic value. So whatever the formula by using to get value, it is intrinsic value. In the true value, that's true. True value. But the market value may be different. Market value may be different. So don't worry about finding the intrinsic value by using a formula. No, it is not the case. Now, rather than examiner can ask you what is the cost of capital? What is the cost of equity? So now they have asked what is the intrinsic value. Same thing. Now, if they examine now this formula, the dividend models we are using to find out what? Only the cost of equity. But examiner gives you now examiner asking you intrinsic value, but you finding out how do you find out the intrinsic value? No, we have learned to apply this formula to find out cost of equity. The cost of equity here, examiner says intrinsic value. Can be possible. But don't betray the question the examiner asks you. But if you know the particular question and the contents, you have the application, go ahead with that. So that may be intrinsic value as per the examiner. That's true. Now you clearly understood It is to find out the cost of it. That's what we need. Someone can say anything. Now, rather than asking the bond pricing, he can ask you what is the intrinsic value. But what is this asking? The pricing. Okay. He's asking pricing. So rather than asking, he can ask you what is the dirty price. What is he asking? Pricing. He can ask you clean price. What is he asking? Pricing. He can ask you what is the intrinsic value. Okay. But if you know the contents to application, that's more. So this CAPM also is only the application, right? Only the application. So we'll be taking a question when you do the questions. We'll be taking. Now everybody has this question paper with you all. And same paper in exam, the first question, the first multiple choice question, SME around the country that are seeking to list in the Empower Board of Colombo Stock Exchange need to obtain the expertise from a party approved by the Colombo Stock Exchange. I'll be giving note on this. I have given this paper article for the previous class as well. Same question examiner asked, sponsor. Right? You should have a sponsor. The Empower Board for whom? SME. SME people, they don't know how to come out this listing and requirement, how to raise funds. So there should be somebody to behind them. We call that as a sponsor. This is similar to venture capital. Right? Venture capital, they have the idea, but they don't have capital. You provide the capital. Here also you provide the capital to being listed. To being listing, you provide the capital. You help, you means sponsor help SME company to find more capital. Being listed. Okay. Now the next question. Now see, companies issue shares on a primary market to raise capital, to increase return on capital, to increase return on equity, to maximize the shareholders. Now all these questions, if you go through the papers now, just go through the papers. All these things we cover in the class. So now you are able to understand, you are able to answer at least 50% of this question paper now. So we have to complete 3 more topics only. Now examiner generally don't ask a question much on foreign exchange, but he has not been tested the last 2 occasions, but I don't know whether this time he will be testing on it, but we'll be doing next. So please just go through and understand the pattern of the question the examiner test you. So when you go through the question paper, 2-3 question papers, you can see the same question is repeated. Only the concept won't change. Concept won't change, but only the repeated questions are many. So there are a lot of repeated questions. Now the examiner asks you initial public offering, secondary market, and all these things we have now just at least to go through the latest paper. Just have a look, then you can understand. Right. And so then, so these are the 4 types of yield curves. And here other things you can read it. We have done this in the class, construction of yield curve. Now yield curve is basically you have one side yield, the other side you have treasury bill, treasury bond rates. 2 axis දෙකක් තියෙනවනේ x y කියලා ඉවරලා. එක axis එක තියෙනවා yield එක. මොනවා වලද yield එක? treasury bill, treasury bond yield එක. The other axis you have 3, 6, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, treasury bond rate. Then you draw it. එමෙන්දම ඔයාට yield curve එක තමයි එක්ක මේ type හතරෙන් එකට එනවා. Based on this you take decisions. And also I just wanted to now this, when you take treasury bill rate, it has two components. It has two components. See this one. Real risk-free rate. This one. Real risk-free rate plus inflation. That is treasury bill rate. So treasury bill rate, again 4.851 year present rate, meaning adjusted to treasury, adjusted to inflation. Adjusted to inflation. Adjusted to inflation. When you say treasury bill 4.9, after the inflation adjusted. What is inflation now? It's 4.2 now. So very, very minimal interest you get. Long-term interest rate is this is short-term. Why? Treasury bill rate. Only addition is what? Maturity risk premium. This is only addition. Why? When you have longer-term investment, you take a risk. With the government, what kind of risk you have? You don't have any risk default, but you have other risks. You have reinvestment risk. You have interest rate risk. You have liquidity risk. What else you have? Which one is not there? Counterparty risk or the default risk is not there. But even with the government, even with the government investment, even with the treasury bill, treasury bond investment issued by the government, which is normally called as risk-free, has other risks. Has other risks. So for that, we need we need compensation. We need something. This is something. Why? I am holding this particular instrument, my investment more than 1 year. More than 1 year. I need more. Okay. Understood. So we had a risk, natural risk. So this is how you decided the treasury bond rate. And one thing last, I just want to give you these are the risks. Now it's available. Other risks. Now all these risks available, right? Let's keep in mind. And this is very important question. I just want to do. Just to read this. Read this. This everything is important, right? In this field, everything is important. This is the structure of callable bonds. I'll be taking up this later when we do the questions. Callable option and convertible option as well. This is how we structures. Now, any time after 2 years, you can convert this into shares. This is the most common. So the pricing and everything, the ratio is also given at the issue. Pricing is not given. May price එක දාන්න එදා තියෙන market price එකනේ market price එක උඩ යන්න ඕන මට how do you decide this whether you are the investor? ඇයි මම ඔයා මේක execute කරනවද නැද්ද කියලා how do you decide? ඔයාට හම්බෙන shares ගානයි ඒ shares ගාන ඔයාට විකුණලා හම්බෙන සල්ලි ගාන අතර වාසිය තමයි හොයන්නේ. නැත්නම් ඒ shares තියාගත්තාම මට coupon එකට වඩා dividend හම්බ වෙනවා නම් මේ company. So I will be executing this option. We will be coming later with this question. For the time being, for your reading purpose, just read it. I have given the calculated example as well. Question is this one. This is very, very important question, right? Very important. Zero coupon bonds. We have not heard. We have heard only one instrument, that is treasury bill. But bonds we have not heard. Just this morning we have learned the term zero coupon bond. But we have given you the example, treasury bill. But there are things that zero coupon bond. So if the examiner gives you a question, he can ask the question this way. This is the only way he can ask this question, right? On zero bond. How much should an investor pay to buy 100 5-year zero coupon debenture if the investors require rate of return for this debenture is 20? Now, I'm changing this question this way. How much should an investor pay to buy 100 12 months zero coupon debenture in the investor's 12 months rather than 5 months, 5 years. So do we know? If I put 100, 12 months, do we know? Are we familiar? Yes. How? Treasury bill calculation, pricing. How much should an investor pay to buy 100 3 months zero coupon debenture if the investor pays 20%? Are we familiar? Yes. Why? This is the formula. Which one? The formula you had used for what? Calculation of 3 months treasury bill pricing. Did we learn? Yes, we learned. Same formula. 3 months? Yes. So of course we can. 6 months? Yes, we have learned. That is treasury bill formula. 12 months? Yes, same formula. Remember that? 1 plus R. No? 1 plus R into number of days divided by 360. That is 3, 6, 12 less than 1 year. But here in this question they are asking more than 1 year. 5 years. If it is more than 1 year, this is the formula you have to use. Very important question type. 100 as it is divided by 1.2. What is this? 20. 20 is the required rate of return to the power of 5. Why 5? 5 years. Treasury bill rate 5 or no? We didn't do, but keep in mind this is very important. This is the change. If you are given a question for less 3 months, yes. 6 months, we know treasury bill. 1 year, this is same formula we are using for treasury bill calculation. Even examiner says depends, it doesn't matter. But if it is more than 1 year, use this formula, right? So that I have it. It's important to focus. So any question you have?
So when we refer to discount bonds,
Yeah.
does it mean all time it is a deep discount bonds?
No, deep discount in a sense it's the 2 words only. Now we say for example 95 and 98.
Right.
So basically there are 2 types. 98 will take a bond there is another bond pricing at 95.
Right.
So can anybody say which one is deep discounting? So everybody says no, this is not a deep discounting bond, but this is a discounted bond. That is your perception. So generally, deep discounting in the sense, generally we call it more than 80. Say below 80 now, we generally say only general. So sometimes somebody can say, how can you say it's deep discounting? It's normal bond trading a discount there. Yeah, accept that. You have to accept. But generally, when you issue a debenture with the word of deep discounting, it should be more than, not should, but it may less, more than 80%, more than 20% discount from the nominal value. That is 80. General, general only.
Right.
It's not a hard and
Thank you.
fast rule.
Right.
Not a hard and fast rule, but generally we also, if it is less than, if it is 20% discount from the nominal value, we also deep discount.
Thank you.
So then, now can you all tell me whether you have past papers with you all? And I have given you last week two question papers for you all to do. Please go through this. Those are the only refresh what we have done in the class. There is no something outside the things which we have done in the class, right? I have taken all these questions based on the what we have done in the class. I think you can attempt that question. Anything you find that difficult, we will be taking up in the class. Otherwise, now your exam is in November, right? This is August, September, October, November. September, October. We have 2 more months. So I hope I will expecting to finish. We have another. Now today is 9th. We have 3 more Sundays. So probably first week of September or the maximum second week. So then we can finish it off the syllabus. Then we have ample time to go to October. Entire month we have. So we didn't have a similar situation in the previous class, right? We have only maximum 2 weeks. Then we can have the mock exam with you, but only thing I will be giving the questions only. So then you can answer this question and we can discuss it once you answer this. So then once we finish this foreign exchange, and while we are doing the foreign exchange questions, I thought of taking some examination question as well with you all. So because I have to do securitization, foreign exchange, the restructuring, loan syndication, I'll be giving a note to you all and read these notes I have given the wealth management, asset management. Then you can only read literal meanings, right? You go through the papers, same thing. There is no anything they're asking about other than that, only the literal meaning. So then we can finish it off. Asset securitization is only a few moments, few things, half an hour. Restructuring, I have to do a little. Mergers and acquisition, then foreign exchange. You can finish it off. And I will be taking the questions with you all from the past paper. Then we can, while we are doing this, since we have completed this, the significant part of the syllabus. Basically, you should be able to answer these questions paper now, at least. So which one is, now if I take the question paper with me, and if we can discuss now, say now this is, we say 2000, we say this is 2016 September now. If I say 2016 September question number 5, then can we do that like that? That's then how do you suggest? So then I can. What do you want me to do now? I have the paper with me. I hope that you will also have this paper with you all. So we can do it like that. Ne? So we will take each question relevant to what we have covered so far. Then we can finish it off. Then later, towards the end, we will go through the whole paper except what we have done in the class during this time. So that is the mechanism generally I apply. But only thing I can show it to you when we have this. I have the soft copy with me, but here it is not going to work. Having a soft copy, then if you are sitting physically, I can show it to you through multimedia. That's what I do last session as well. But in this case, I don't think that I can give it to you the papers. So if you have the papers with you, take the whole papers, 2014 onward papers. So here and there we will take that question. Yes, now for example, now this is 2016 September. There was a question number 4. It's asked explain the following: raising capital, 5 marks; portfolio management, 5 marks; proprietary trading, 5 marks; brokering, 5 marks. Now see, raising capital, you know. Raising capital again, capital like over the raise current. There are many methods. There are many ways. Raising capital, new capital, internal capital, base, borrowing, share issue, IPO, primary market, everything we have learned. Portfolio management, you know, wealth management, asset management, same thing. Proprietary trading, that is foreign exchange, will be learning next. Brokering, investment advice, right? I gave you the note. So preparation of offer document is what? Question number 3, same question paper. Preparation of offer document is what? Prospect. Underwriting, 5 mark question. Listing, 5 mark question. Book building, 5 mark question. Book building also coming under loan syndication. So everything now is a 10 mark question. At least you can earn 18 marks. So very easy subject to pass, right? So keep the past papers ready with yours. And that is important. So otherwise you will be losing just listening to it. So otherwise you can later watch the video and take that. But I think I need the feedback from you all online. So I can see some people. There were 2 actually the previous days. Now it has 3 people, 3 students joining. Right. Then I'll be taking up next one with a fresh topic, that is foreign exchange. But just go through what we have done so far. So we have to complete another 3 topics. So this won't take much, only 1 or 2 days for next change. I'll be doing some questions as well with the past paper. So then we can finish it off. Plus, I will give you note on loan syndication, then MCB board and Empower board listed requirements. Right? And I need to show it to the debenture advertisement. I will try to upload. I will try to have a photo, the photograph and upload. I will send it to them. I don't know whether it can be visible or not, but we'll see. Then you can learn how the investment banking people are doing the share issue or the debenture issue. So you put the advertisement, manager, trustee, oversubscription, number of shares, pricing, fixed, floating here, everything is there, right? So just now start to go through just a little by little, then you will not lose anything. So anything missed, please let us know. Any tunes which I have not taken. I thought that I think today's one, I think I have completed all the notes. So when you do the online, it can happen. So otherwise, generally, if you come to the classes, I show it to. I have the pen drive with me, so I take all these previous slides as well. I can show it to you, but there is a limitation to put. I just explaining everything, but sometimes now when you come today, previous slides are not available. Like there are some limitations as well when you do online. So I have again we have to upload fresh tools. So manage that difficulties as well. But I have completed every missing items. But I have explained in the class. Matter the factors or the terms and syllabus area I have completed in the class. Only thing I just wanted to go through the and everything to show that we have discussed which are available in the queue. So we will be meeting up next week to continue from foreign exchange transaction and also be ready with the past papers as well, right? Any question you have before we wind up? Right. So then we will be meeting next week. Right? Any question, just ask. I have given the mobile number as well. Thank you very much.